Hello, I am Simulated Erk and welcome back to The Bus The, and today we are at the main train station, and what we're going to do today is we're going to go from the main train station, we're going to go from the main train station to Alexanderplatz, and then we're going to search for the depot again. There were 3 updates within 24 hours of the Bus early access beta, so we'll see if we can make it to the depot today. Let's have a look at the map. We'll see if the map's changed. So we're going down and we're going over here, so we're going to do a bit of the route first. Although, ooh, they've actually got, it looks like they've actually got the depot on my map now. That wasn't there on the last episode. The line basically ended up the top, and I just realised that I don't have my mouse cursor showing, so up towards the top where we crashed out a couple of times, we needed and we couldn't turn right. Now we can turn right, and this was actually different than what I saw on the video that I used for inspiration as well. So looks like we could get to the depot today. So we've got our passengers waiting, so we'll get on the bus. There's been a lot of little changes that have been made, and it's early access. It's a work in progress, but we'll see what happens now. That ticket validator seems to be new. Let me just. Yeah, that seems to be new, the ticket validator. And I don't remember all those words on the front doorstep either, so let's get in. Now we need to put our trip number in before we... 87654. Our passengers getting on the bus. So we'll look at our front display. Now, oh, there's somebody waiting for me. Sorry, my dude. I thought I heard the sound of cash. You got a single AV. There's a single AV. Thank you. Alright, so we depart at 9:41, so we're a couple of minutes away from our actual departure time. So we will wait here. Now let's see if we can actually do some things on the instrument tables. Not available, not available. Turn on lighting. Patches. Lights still not available. Ticket machine looks really much the same. Having said that, can actually put your tour number in using the numpad now, which is good. Alright, about 20 seconds to go, so... Alright, so... While there's no traffic around, we need to go straight, so let's go. Although red lights still appear to be optional for some users. So the point that I was trying to badly make in the last episode is that the arrival time at the next stop actually reflects a timetable now, whereas before I noticed in one of the earlier episodes, say if I left the main train station at 9 AM, every other stop it would show that my due time out was 9 AM, which was clearly wrong. And you'd look down, you get halfway into the airport or halfway to Alexanderplatz and it's like, oh, it says that I'm due at the next stop at 9 AM, it's now 9:15, when really I was on or close to time. But the timetable on the screen actually hadn't kept up. So we're still in the early stages. I'm still the only bus. There's no trams.
Invalidenpark.
Ooh, we have announcements now. That's cool. We still sound like a scattier coach. I don't know what we hit then, but we hit something. You can actually turn all these markers off, but I'm just not doing that. Everybody's had a chance to get off. And we need to turn right here and we can go. Even though Mr. Speedy's partly in my lane. Oh, I think it's the next, I think it's on the lights, yeah.
Kochplatz.
Oh, loving the announcements. Hello. You would like me to Alright, there you go. Thank you. Oh, I'm not due out of here until 9:46. Glad to see that the destination indicators being fixed. Is the traffic waiting for me? Don't see why, it was the rain. Alright, let's... Now I can understand if I had my right hand indicator on.
Charité Campus Mitte.
What I thought would happen is that it would actually, because it's pointing, the arrow's pointing straight ahead, and I'll get to a traffic light or something like that and then show you what I'm talking about. There's an arrow that points in the forward direction, which basically says, keep going straight. And then I thought, well, once it gets near the corner where you have to turn, that it would actually change. That it would actually change and say, hey, dude, turn right here. So now, if we're having a look, it's showing us the next stop, and it's showing us what direction we're going in, what our last stop was, what our next stop is, what time we're due there, 9:51, and it's 9:49 now. So I thought, and we'll keep an eye on it, and I thought it would be, when we get up to the corner where we have to turn, I think it's to the left, that it would actually, the arrow would change it. Maybe that's something that's coming later on, I don't know. You know, I haven't been that close to a Berlin ticket machine on a bus. But that would be cool if it, when it recognises, oh, you need to turn, and in time to come, though, we'll probably have more buses with the GPS units on them in real life to say, hey, dude, you need to turn here. And then it takes into account traffic conditions. Say, for instance, if a road on the route's closed, it directs you somewhere else, and you find out ahead of time rather than when you get there and the police are blocking the street off.
U-Bahnhof Brandenburger Tor.
Alright, so if my theory is correct, no, that's still pointing forward. Now, maybe in time that arrow will actually change to point to the left because that's the direction in which we need to go to now. That would be cool if it did. Probably a good one to keep in mind. The traffic's not really heavy, but we are now we actually know what the time is that we need to keep to. We're doing a good job of it. There's been changes to the way that the passengers have been programmed. So what clothes they can wear, how they wait for buses, how they get on and off buses, that sort of thing. But already there's been great moves, there's been great steps, and you can see that it is progressing. You know, just simple things like the developers have listened to people when they've said, oh, the timetable on the information map, the arrival times don't change. The destination boards are wonky. You know, yes, it's in their interest, but it's also good to see that they're actually listening, because there have been other developers in other sims where you continually point the faults out, and you know, sometimes they go unacknowledged.
Unter den Linden Friedrichstraße.
I like how it just says in that advertisement over their advertisement. And sometimes in real life they'll just have something like that just so the spot's filled, because sometimes they're trying to appeal to the advertiser as well. Oh, this spot's free.
Staatsoper.
things like announcements really help with the immersion. Even though on many bus networks you go on to, I know my local bus networks, you know, there's no such thing as announcements. You know, on the trains there can be announcements, and it, you know, it's helpful for people who are not locals. Definitely got better with things have definitely got better with passengers. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change lanes because old mate in the speedy truck's got his nose pointed out into the bus lane. I think it's really good that they're showing construction. Now, I might have pointed out before, but there are some bus stops that we don't have to stop at because they're not our bus stops. Might be for a different route. Screen of our passengers.
Spandauer Straße, Marienkirche. S- und U-Bahnhof Alexanderplatz, Memhardstraße.
Route complete. Beautiful. Well done. So we'll have a look outside. Oh, and it's only showing us it's running to the train station, which is how we started, so we'll close the doors and we'll show you what's going on and what days, what transport on Simulated Erk back in a moment. Alright, now we are hopefully going to successfully go to the bus depot. So we have our doors closed. It'll be interesting to see. Can we turn right? Should have paid attention to the map when I had it on screen. Turn right here or at the next one. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. See how long it actually shows on screen that we are still on track and we can still go back to the route. And every so often we'll have a look at the front of the bus to see if we've still got our route shown. Now in a real situation, if you've just finished your route, say you finished your route at Alexanderplatz and then you're running empty to the depot, or you'd put a not in service display up or something similar to that. Before, I know here locally they used to show special before they used to show not in service. Not in service is only a relatively recent thing. They used to just say have it as special on the front of the bus, and now it says not in service. Now some places it'll say sorry, not in service. I'm not necessarily a fan of that because, for instance, you shouldn't be apologising for the fact that the bus is going back to the depot. Now I can understand from a passenger point of view if you're waiting at a congested stop and then an empty bus goes by and it says not in service, you know, you might think a little bit easier about it. Oh, sorry, not in service, but probably not. You know, some companies have got advertising displays that they'll show, like the name of the company or something like Hire Me. So if we have a look outside now, yeah, it's still showing on the indicator for the moment. I'm sure I don't know about screen cap. Say hire, or sometimes they'll show, instead of special, they'll show charter, something like that. Just so people along the route know, I'm not in service, I'm in charter, whatever, don't flag me down. Another way to avoid that phenomenon. Okay, we've got a bus lane, that's all well and good, but if I'm going back to the depot, if it's really crowded, if it's bumper to bumper peak hour traffic and the bus lane's empty, sure, go right ahead. Go right ahead and use the bus lane. But if it's just regular off-peak traffic like this, there may not be a need to run in the bus lane, so people don't flag you down. Oh yeah, I made this mistake before too, yesterday, on the previous episode. What have we got behind us? Can't believe I missed that guy, mate. Because you can't, the depot is officially not part of things yet, so you can't actually set your route to go back to the depot, so you have to rely on your own navigation. Now the passenger information screen is trying its best to get me back on track. I think I'll turn here. Is trying its best to get me back on track. Yeah. Now it would be nice if there was another route from, say, Alexanderplatz or even the main train station that runs on this route. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to go to the depot every time, but there is a route. I think there will be a route eventually that'll come this way, because you see the amount of bus stops, the amount of detail that they've gone to. You know, this amount of detail just isn't so you can go to the depot. Unlike other simulators, this is a one-for-one map, so if it takes you hypothetically an hour to drive the map in, or drive the route in real life, well, it will take you an hour on the sim. Whereas the truck simulators on Simulated Simulated Erk, most of them are a 1 in 19 scale. So an hour in real life is 19 minutes on sim. That's the way it works. Still showing on our indicator. Now the difference on last week's episode in terms of the destination indicator is that I didn't set things on the computer. So we are to a taxi in a car coming over. Footpath. Alright, check the map. Now we keep going for a bit. Next turn is to the left. So for the moment at least, the map down the bottom right corner of the screen is actually giving up on telling us where we should be going to get back on track. That's interesting. That's the tram depot that we pointed out on the last episode. But there used to be a service station there. The service station's gone. That's interesting. Oh, maybe it hadn't drawn in. But it certainly wasn't there when I drove past it. Maybe it hadn't drawn in yet. No, I don't think I turn at this one. No, not quite. closer. Did I zig when I should have zagged? Let's have a look. Saying that this is the way to go. Am I going to be denied again? That's not fair. Oh, that's not good. Is there another way to get there? Oh, I should have turned right instead of left. Okay, we can do this. This is our not very realistic part. Can't come this close. Alright, we're not being very realistic. It's a shame this is entirely concrete here. I'm just going to cheat a little bit. Yeah, I should have turned right. Okay. Let's go. I like it how they have it in like Euro and American Truck Sim, that if you just want to make sure I'm going the right way now. Yep. Yeah, turn left instead of right. I should have turned right. It should have the X's or the no entry sign at the beginning of the intersection, so you don't drive through. So you don't drive a little bit down the road and then find that you have nowhere to go. I'd rather know at the traffic lights. Where are we? No, not yet. Next turn is to the right. People there waiting for a train that doesn't exist yet. Pardon me. Something that's not a major part of what we're doing here, the tram line is very well modelled. Okay, so I'm a little bit further. Let me turn to the we turn right. Now there are a lot of people in the world that have trouble with determining left and right, especially when they're driving. It's actually come to the point where some people have, I know some people have got like a little L tattooed on their left hand somewhere. And there's actually companies that release stickers, say if you're driving, you put on your windscreen to show left and right. Sometimes I might get them a bit confused, like in that little situation. Doesn't help when I'm driving the total opposite to how I normally drive, despite the amount of simulators that I use. Yeah, it's this one. Off route at the moment, and it's still gloriously mapped because obviously it's meant to be something that's coming on a little bit later on. Oh, there's the I remember seeing that McDonald's from the Simpsons Stuffs video that I watched. And I've never seen that before for me, so we might be lucky here. Oh, and it's actually directing us in the depot to turn around now. Sweet. So now we can just follow and the depot's coming up on the left. So now we're just going to wait for the traffic. And now I can see where we have to turn. And we are arriving at the first time at the bus depot. We have arrived! Woohoo! Finally worked for me. Now these boom gates actually work. Yeah. So we can have a look around now. There's lots of room to park the buses. Now, what's this showing us here? Oh, that's showing us where it wants us to park. Okay, so we won't do that just yet. Oh, maybe this is where they charge electric buses. Now, I haven't been here before, so I don't know necessarily what's what. But we're just going to drive and how far we can drive. So I'm just going to drive through what we can. This looks like an indoor work area. I'm going to walk through some of this as well. So safe one. They want to do work on the air conditioning, I'd be guessing. There's a pit, so if they need to look underneath the bus, we probably should have driven in from the other end. Oh yeah. One place in the video where we were shown. Oh, so what can happen here if they need to look underneath the bus? You drive over the pit. Get out of the seat, we'll go for a walk. Oh, I didn't park it very well. No, I didn't park it very well at all. To the surprise of no one. That's terrible, Muriel. Let's see if I've done a better job. No, not really. Too far. Too far to my left. Better. Yeah, that's better. Now can we go down here? No. Oh, hello. Oi. Don't know how I did that. Look at the camera. Yes, you. There we go. Alright, so we have arrived at the depot. So the whole idea of this pit, see, I'm right on, got my wheel on there, but my wheel's sort of half on there. There we go, so we just use the zoom mouse to zoom in and out of first person or third person. Okay, that's cool. Alright, so we'll leave the bus there for the minute. So here what they can do is jack the bus up. So if they want to change the tyres, etc., they can do that there. So every time a bus comes back to the depot, it doesn't need to come back in here. It would only come back in here if it needed work done on it, like change the tyres, do a grease and oil change, etc. Get back in our bus. So yeah, if you want to, and in many cases there'd be like a depot driver, like as a route driver, you might come in, just park at, you know, there's might be a short term bus arrival area where you just, you know, park the bus. But in other companies, what they would do, you would bring the bus in, you would get the bus refueled, and then you'd be told where to park the bus so it's ready for its next shift. Now up here, where you fuel the bus. Let's have a look. Uh-oh, it's going to be frozen. So this may be where the buses are fueled and cleaned, and then they will be parked elsewhere. So that may have to be it, but that was a quick overview of the depot before it officially opens. I don't think I can do, I can't even hit escape to get out, so it looks like our game has crashed. Anywho, I've been Simulated Erk, you've been wonderful. Thanks for the drive, thanks for driving me there. No, you should be thanking me for driving you there. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, you've been awesome. I've been Simulated Erk, we'll see you.